What's up everyone, Zero here. So welcome back to another episode of the TLDR Crafting Guide where I show you guys how to craft items, but on top of that I show you why we're taking the steps that we do so that way you can apply them to other crafts. And today I want to show you how to craft this helmet. I know that it has a low intelligence roll, but I was just trying to rush through the craft to get the steps done to show you actually how to do it. Ideally, you would want a higher tier intelligence roll. So if you guys find this video useful at all, please consider dropping a like and subscribe. And with that, let's get into it. You want to get a Lich's circlet with fractured maximum energy shield. Now you could try to roll and fracture yourself, but the cost of fracturing orbs in comparison to just buying one like this on the market, it doesn't really make sense because you can actually fail to fracture multiple times before you actually hit it. So I just went out and bought one. I think it cost me about 15 divines. So you want to regal it, make it rare. And for this craft, we're going to be using the Deafening Essence of Loathing, because what this is going to do is it's going to guarantee us increased mana reservation efficiency of skills on the helmet. Now, depending on what you are lacking in your build at this point, I mean, you could either go for fire res if you need it, or you could go for cold res, but you want a high tier resistance modifier and a high tier intelligence modifier on there. So after going through about 100 essences, I got tier 6 intelligence, which is really bad, but I got tier 1 cold resistance, and I was able to null off and isolate them, because at this point it's really just spamming essences and then annulling. So then you have your 3 suffixes done. Or that's the hardest part of the craft, in all honesty. This is a very straightforward craft for this helmet. But like I said, the purpose of crafting this was really just for the video. I'm going to be upgrading to a better version of this once I get some currency, so I just wanted to get it done to make the video. So once you have your suffixes done, the best thing to do, because we want to craft on suffixes cannot be changed, and that is a prefix. Now the only meta mod that is a prefix is suffixes cannot be changed. So the cheapest way to do this is by using wild bristle matrons in the menagerie. So as you see here, all you need is a wild bristle matron, and it'll add a crafted meta modifier onto a non-unique item. So you slap it in there, kill the beasts, and there we have suffixes cannot be changed. Then we want to hit it with a veiled chaos orb. Now what this is going to do is it's going to remove a modifier on it and add a veiled modifier on. And if you noticed, I had made a mistake earlier, which is why you saw a strike range on there. So just ignore that. What you want to do is you just want to go straight from suffixes cannot be changed to this next step. You hit it with the veiled chaos, and then now what we're going to do is we are going to go block a modifier. And the way we do this is with the crafting bench. So we go over here to the crafting bench, and we are going to craft on +1 to maximum raised zombies and skeletons. And the reason why we're doing this is because out of the veiled modifiers that are available, this has one of the highest weightings to actually roll. So we're going to block that from rolling when we unveil the item. So that way we have a better shot at getting the +2 with increased area of effect. So we craft that on, and then we unveil, and we got really lucky. We got it on the first shot. If you get unlucky, you might have to repeat that step a couple of times where you just go back, craft suffixes cannot be changed, because it's really easy if you don't get it the first try. All you have to do is just remove the crafted modifier and go back and use another wild bristle matron, because your prefixes will never be filled because you have that crafted modifier on there. So it's kind of a safeguard from bricking the item. And then once you do that, then you get the plus level of socketed AoE gems. Then you go back over to your crafting bench. You want to remove crafted mods, and then you want to go ahead and craft on increased energy shield. Took me a few tries to get max, but there it is. And then after that, all you have to do is just add your Eldritch Implicits with the Ichor and the Embers. So we use the Ichor to get mana reservation, and then we use the Ember to get increased area of effect. You want to use the higher tier Ichor and Ember because you need higher mana reservation for this build, especially because this is an armor stacker. You need to fit in a lot of auras. I was just doing this for the purpose of the video. Another thing you can do, and I've explained this before in a couple of videos, is the Orb of Conflict. If you guys don't know how that works, it's very, very cool. If you roll a Grand Ember and a Grand Ichor on an item and you get the 2 modifiers that you want, you can use this Orb of Conflict, and what this does is it raises one up to the next level. And the reason why you would do that instead of going right to exceptional is because this is way cheaper doing it this way than it is just to buy a bunch of exceptional embers or ichors. and getting the one that you want. So you do this and you have a 50-50 shot at hitting it. One goes up to the next tier, and then you just have to use one exceptional Ember or Ichor, and then you can go ahead and use the Orb of Conflict again. And if you get the one that you don't want to go up, then you just have to start over. But there is a 50-50 shot again to get the one that you want to go up to the highest tier possible. I've explained it before in a couple videos, so hopefully I did a good job explaining that to you guys. But that's it. Very straightforward craft. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.